Here's why each NBAD will not win the championship this upcoming season. And of course, one of these takes are going to be wrong, but 29 out of 30. Correct takes isn't too shabby. Let's begin 76ers. They added Paul George, which is nice on paper, but his injury has 3 and age may complicate things. Of course, Thunder's Joel Embiid's health as well. That's a giant question mark. He seems to start off every season healthy, and then some kind of nagging injury creeps up on him towards the season's end. Knock on wood. Hopefully things are different this year. Now, even if healthy Joel has absolutely zero experience as a second round of the playoffs, so who even knows how he would deal with that pressure? If he even has the opportunity to find out. Next up, we have the Bucks. And of course, their core has a lot of aging pieces like Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. Of course, Dave isn't getting any younger either, while they're still contenders, with the honest Octopone as prime health and depth issues. Major obstacles. What's really stopping this team from having a repeat of last season, and now for Bowles, except this team does not look like it has any horns. They're definitely in a state of confusion. They lost to keep veterans like DeMar DeRozan without gaining much in return. To keep this one short into the point, they're not winning the chip this year because they may not even make the postseason. I'm not expecting Josh Giddey to turn this franchise around. Moving on, we got Cleveland. There's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this team is broken yet. They're still not deciding to fix it. The Cavs are essentially running the same exact lineup as they did. The last 2 seasons, except that lineup really wasn't working. They have 2 score. First, guards that practically played the same position, and then 2 centers having one pretending to be a power board. And that's kind of wonky too. All great individual players. I really like Avid Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland Mitchell. Not sure how the fit is. Unless Evan Mobley can make significant offensive leaps and get a consistent range game going. This might be possible with Coach Kenny Atkinson, but I really don't know if it's truly enough to get over the hub. And now for the defending champs Celtics, making a repeat is incredibly difficult, and the Celtics will likely not be as lucky as last season where each of their competitions' best players getting hurt in the East. Every round, they face an Eastern opponent that lost their best player, sometimes among the series, or did not even show up for the series. Plus, this roster played a lot of basketball last season, so if fatigue could derail their title drive, a championship hangover might be in the waiting Clippers. There's no reason to believe this Clippers roster got better than last year's problems. Speaking of this year, Paul George's departure certainly gutted this franchise. Kawhi Leonard's health is always a concern, and the team will likely lean too heavily on its aging. Veteran in being James Harden and Leonard, their championship window appears to have closed, but if it's still open, it's really small. And I don't think they're going to win the chip this season, Grizzlies. It's tough to say a blast season was just a hiccup or a sign of what's to come. And if it was just a hiccup, how successfully, they back to the top, dropping from second in the West, all the way down to 13th in one season is a default. Can they rebound all the way back up, or would they mean time to reshape into winning culture? Because the winning is indeed a culture. And most of the time, this type of culture isn't just relearned overnight. And now for the Hawks are stuck in the mid-tier of the East. If they're lucky trading Dijon, Jamboree won't elevate them. And with Trae Young's defense constantly under-screaming, the likelihood hover around such mediocrity, despite the young talent like Zachary Shang and Jale and Johnson, Atlanta's championship aspirations are not on their 2025 calendar. This upcoming season is more about finding out what their roster is capable of. Instead of aiming for the top moving on, we got the Heat. The Heat failed to improve in an all-season. Other teams in the East got significantly better. Jimmy Butler is aging. There's actually a bit of drama between Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. I don't know if that got resolved or if it was overblown to begin with. Really knows. And the reliance on internal growth isn't simply enough to keep them into title connection. Miami could very well take a step back this season instead of a step forward. Next up is the Hornets. But come on, this team might not even make the playoffs. Don't forget the Heat like and subscribe button.